Hey everybody, King Z doing the intro this time, changing up a little bit. We're going to talk about "'Tis the Season" after this. Hey everybody, we're getting a little festive over here at the Winter Wolf's Den. I got my buddy Winter Wolf over in the other box. I'm in this box. And we're going to talk about movies we like to watch during the holiday season. It is the season, isn't it, Winter Wolf?
'Tis the season to be jolly, King Z. This is going to be a fun one for us. There's really no bad way to do a movie about Christmas or holiday movies that you like. I just thought up one random that, as usual, I'm going to break all of our rules and throw it in there at the end after we talk about the 5 that we've got on the list. So I think we got time for about 5 to keep it short and sweet today, guys. We're not doing deep cut breakdowns today. We're just talking about 5 movies that we love that all feature the holiday season in some way, shape, or form. King Z, kick us off, or do you want me to kick us off with number 1, or what do you want to do?
All right, so we're gonna list these in no particular order. We're not ranking them. We're just talking about this list, and we have to start off with the number 1 because we all know it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off the Nakatomi Tower in Die Hard.
Seriously, dude. Now, I wish you had it with you because I know you were flexing on me the other day. Oh, dude, wait, does he have it, folks? I thought you were reaching for it.
That's my advent calendar.
Dude, I love it. Dude, I was telling Mrs. Wolf about that the other day, and she didn't believe it was a real thing. I was like, I'm going to go back up there and get the video. I don't remember what video we were talking about it, but I'm glad you had that with you, dude. Dude, let's talk Die Hard. Dude, we're obviously in the same age bracket and cohort. We probably have both seen this movie 747 trillion times, and all I have to say for my part until you break up Die Hard is, ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. There's nothing cooler than that.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Welcome to the party, pal!
Dude, love that, dude. That's my second favorite line. I love that. Love it. There's so much cool stuff in this movie. Dude, talk about Die Hard, dude, and why it's on our Christmas list.
Well, Die Hard is a family getting back together for Christmas after being separated. They're giving their marriage one more shot. And he's coming out to California to see his wife, who changed her name back to her maiden name for this job. And then Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman himself, wants to steal some bearer bonds.
Dude, the man. Dude, there's a great line right in there, too, where he's first going under the shit's first starting to hit the fan, and McClane's all up there gearing him. He goes, come out to the coast, they said. Have some couple drinks, have a couple laughs. It'll be fun. It'll be a part, whatever he says. I love that spiel. Bruce Willis is too funny in this movie, start to finish. I love him in the role. I'm so glad they ended up casting him and not Cruise, Schwarzenegger, Selleck, and the other 6 people that they had lined up for this movie. And they almost did give him the role because the hair was starting to go. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, who cares? Let him have it.
He wasn't considered an action star at the time either. He's coming off a comedy show, Moonlighting, that's on TV with Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd, You're exactly right. He was a complete unknown in this arena. And like I said, they ran through literally the casting call of all the Stallone, all the Van Damme. No, Van Damme probably wasn't on that list because of the accent. But all the 80s guys that we know and love were all ahead of him in the pecking order for Die Hard, dude. I love this movie, dude. What is your favorite part of the movie?
Is there a favorite part? I mean, it's the...
I have one. I actually have one. Yeah, dude. It's Sergeant Al Powell. My man, Carl Winslow, Officer Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
He loves playing a
bonus
cop.
points,
Let me say something. He loves playing a cop.
Reginald Vell Johnson was born to play a beat cop. I'm sorry, he just was. In another life, he probably is a cop. My favorite part of that movie, it's two-parter. It's where they're starting to get to know each other, McClane and Powell over the radio. And Powell gives you the backstory about how he accidentally shot a kid on routine. And then they put him behind a desk because he couldn't get his nut up for a while to get back out there on the road. And then as the movie, this is classic like action flicks from back in the day. When the movie looks like it's all but wrapped up, this is the action movie version of the last jump scare in a horror flick. Hans Gruber's got one more guy that's only wounded. He's getting up. He's got the gun. He swings the SIG assault rifle up, and all you hear is boom, boom. And McClane's covering up his wife, and who's staring down the smoking barrel? And Sergeant Al fucking Powell. That's who. Plug that dude. Put him down. Loved it. So cool. Everything about that movie's cool. All the robbers were cool. The set pieces were cool with this dude running around on broken glass. I'm rambling, dude. Tell me more about Die Hard. I gotta shut up.
Now, I gotta ask you, do you remember how he got barefoot?
No, because he was getting ready for the party. He was just getting ready to get dressed. He was barefoot and shaving in the mirror, right?
Well,
and he heard the gunshots, and then he went and he got his piece.
if you remember when he was first flying out to LA, the guy who was sitting next to him, he goes, you know how I do it? He's like, every time I get home from flying, I take my shoes off and I rub my feet on the carpet. It's like, I've flown so many miles and hasn't. He takes his shoes off and he goes barefoot and he starts rubbing his feet in the carpet, just like the guy told him to. And that's when you heard the first gunshots.
Yeah. I totally blanked on that, dude. You're so right. Yeah, because like right after that, it's pedal to the metal for like 80 minutes after that. There's literally the only downbeat you get. This is perfect pacing. The only downbeat you get is literally when he's talking to Al, when he's talking on the radio, and then he's kind of like, dude, I'm up against it. His spirits are starting to break later on. Al talks him through it, pumps him up. Good stuff. I love Die Hard, dude. I love Die Hard.
It's also been parodied in shows like Leverage.
Infinitely.
But I have to tell you that it's not technically a Christmas story. It's more of a Hanukkah story because it actually parallels the story of Hanukkah.
Yep. You made an important distinction with that.
Hanukkah story
nope.
For you guys.
Nope. But you're correct. I think for you and me as not members of that particular faith, for us, we get the Christmas connection because it does the whole family messaging thing after the shootout and the husband and the wife to get back together, yada, yada. That's where it's at for us, guy. Dude, I'm going to kick number 2 if you don't mind, because that's one of my favorites back in the day. We're going to talk about Home Alone because that's an obvious selection for this. And I saw the other day that Macaulay Culkin just got a star on the Hollywood Walk. Did you see that the other day?
No, I didn't. I stopped
I think
him after The Good Son.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of a downward trend in his life, but I guess he's got his act together for a bit now. The mom, I can't remember her name. I apologize. The mom from Home Alone actually did the presenting at the ceremony. Oh, okay. So there's a nice little reunion there. She's got that hysterical commercial right now. Is it with Visa and Kevin Hart? Yeah. And she loses him in the airport. And he's like, I can't believe you lost another Kevin. And she's like, it's a holiday tradition. She looks exactly the same, too. She's very good. Time has been very kind to that woman, for sure. But, dude, Home Alone, too funny.
When it first came out, it was great. Now, if you actually did the physics, those guys probably died.
Dude, I got a Black Panther you here. We don't do that here. We don't do physics here. No, this is not that type of party today.
They have the cheat code to stop fall damage like in Black Widow.
Dude, they had the perk enabled, 100%. Dude, true. Dude. Home Alone, too funny. You've seen it multiple times as a kid. Holds up. I just watched it about a week ago. Home Alone 2 even holds up to a great extent. I don't know about 3 or 4. I've never seen either of those. But Home Alone 1, what we're talking about here, it's a really funny premise. The kid gets left behind as his parents are taken off to go to France on vacation right around the holidays. You know, my biggest takeaway from Home Alone is wondering what Kevin McAllister's dad did for work. Because that house was ching. Then, nice neighborhood. All I'm saying there. Nice neighborhood, Dad. Nice neighborhood.
Yeah. The other part is, like, in the making of it, you know, there's a huge cameo of John Candy in that movie.
Yep.
And the story behind it is that John Candy actually did that for free. He was not paid for it, and they shot all of his scenes in a continuous 24-hour period because he had to go because he was filming another movie. So they filmed everything.
He was on Planes, Trains, on Automobile. Yep.
They had to film everything of him in that movie in 24 hours, and they shot for 24 hours straight with John Candy.
Yeah, we miss John Candy. It's no joke. There's not a bad John Candy movie out there, from Uncle Buck to The Great Outdoors, Summer Rental. As a total separate aside. Love that guy. Went way too soon.
Yep.
Facts, dude. Home Alone, you can't talk about Home Alone without balancing two things. The pranks that Kevin pulls in defense of the homestead against the wet bandits. The wet bandits. I love that. I love Harry and Marv. Love that.
Joe Pesci was
the
just
pranks are good.
in that movie.
Pesci was on point, sure. The pranks are too good. There are a couple of them are over the top, like the blowtorch to the top of the skull that burns Pesci's head, and he's got to dunk it in the snow. Like, okay, dude, that's attempted murder, and you're going to the ER if you're lucky.
Grill starter that he put on the door handle.
Yep. Yeah, dude, awesome. Dude, the BB gun to the face when Marv sticks his face through the pet door.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's probably gonna get you A&D with the DW.
Got me was the nail in the board after he walked on the tar stairs.
Stop. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. They show that, and to this day, I'm convinced that dude accidentally stepped on that nail. I'm convinced that nail went in his foot. Dude, because they just show the close-up. And I'm like, I don't know, prosthetic foot. He stepped in front of it, camera angle, I don't know. It looked pretty real. Dude, my favorite one in that whole movie, though, is when they slip down the ice-covered basement stairs outside.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've done that in real life, and that shit hurts.
That hurts so bad.
Dude, that kills them. Old cement stairs are no joke. There's no bounce. Oh, that's awful. Because he froze him down, too. That was part of the gangster shit.
Oh, I was
This-
out
the
here
kid took the
delivering
hose to it and
packages
froze him.
the other day, and I slipped on ice and fell and busted my butt. So.
Dude. Yeah, hopefully you ain't fall down. You didn't go down 12, basement bulkhead stairs. That looked rough.
I just fell in the driveway.
Another good one in there is when they're trying to chase him up to the third floor of the house. This house had 3 floors and the attic, right? It was crazy. He throws the paint can over the side on the rope. Pesci dodges the first one and it hits Marv anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And then he gets back up and the second one comes and bangs him. Dude, these pranks were great, dude. I bet if we looked into who wrote this film, they must have had some sitcom background, some slapstick, some physical comedy, because all of it's funny. But dude, I want to get your take on the emotional beats of this movie because it is a Christmas film. Tell me about the old man neighbor and the reunion based on Kevin's wish, because I thought those were both really heartfelt. I thought they were both played really well.
Oh yeah, it was great. You had the old man who had a falling out with his son, and the only way to see his granddaughter is by going to the church and seeing her sing. And they had that meeting at the church as Kevin was trying to hide from the wet bandits as they were tracking him. About, sometimes you just have, if he had a chance to see his family again, he would make the most of him. And kind of the old man who saves him later in the movie with a big payoff.
Bing!
You
Shovel
see
in
him
face.
and his family coming over to see him. So.
And then, the bit with Kevin and his mom is good because the setup, the inciting incident, of course, at the beginning is Kevin gets kind of punked around by his family and he says to his mom, I wish for Christmas I didn't have a family. And the mom's like, you should be careful what you wish for. You might get it. And then, of course, Kevin wakes up the next day. The family took off to the airport without him because the head count went wrong because the neighbor kid got involved in the count. Yeah. They thought they had everybody. It's all hectic. They get on the plane. They're halfway to Paris when, of course, the mom has that classic scene. It's like, I felt that I leave the stove on. Is the garage door open? And then she just jumps up in her seat and it's like, Kevin! Because she remembers. And that they cut right into him waking up and coming down from the attic apartment and the house is empty. Yeah. So he thinks he got the Christmas wish. And then when he heads up to the church and when he's seeing Santa, of course, the only thing he's wishing for is to have his family back. Yep. I love that part when they get together, when he reunites with mom at the end, when she gets into the house first. Chills. It's just good stuff. Very, very authentically done. I'm digging it on Home Alone. Dude, what's next on our list here? I'm sure you dig this one.
Yeah, and I believe the next one is one of my personal favorites. And I don't know how you feel about it, but my next one is Better Off Dead. With John Cusack,
Better Off
1985.
See, you talk. You go. Tell me. I just did Home Alone bigly. You hit this. You do this. I'll talk.
Better Off
after.
Dead is a classic high school film that stars John Cusack, and I don't believe any really other big names is in this movie. But it's about. It's pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Senior year of high school. He gets dumped by his girlfriend for a ski jock. They live in a skiing city. I don't actually know where it's set either. But
Colorado, Boulder, I think it's Boulder because I think it's on one of the highway signs.
Okay.
Early,
and
I think so.
So you kind of just go through his life during his senior year, starting late fall. You go through Christmas, and then it ends at summer. But it just some great comedy scenes in there. The paper boy chasing him down, wanting his $2.
$2.
You have him trying, and the big thing is him to get on the ski team and go down this big hill called the K-12, and it's like this big mystical hill. Like one guy,
it's a triple black diamond. Yeah.
This one guy, he's in a wheelchair, his legs in a full cast. He's trying to ski the K-12, man. When he was picking up his skis,
trying to kill me.
Thing.
Yeah.
And so the advice, the first time he goes up there to do it, he brings his friend who's Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes. Yep.
And he's like, you go that way. He's like, all right, so how do I do this? He's looking and he's like, you go that way really, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn. He's like, dude. I'm just trying to do it. He puts down his hands, he goes, and he starts falling 10 seconds later.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was almost instant.
The scene up there is great because he's like, come on, man, it's cold up here. He's like, I'm missing out on my nephew's wicked awesome eggnog that he makes with lighter fluid.
Dude, I love Better Off Dead. Like you said, it's a high school, not coming of age, but like a getting through high school kind of flick. He gets dumped by the girlfriend. He finds a new love by the end because she's into all the same crap he's into. Like the bit with the car. You know, you can't talk about Better Off Dead without the car. He's trying to restore, I think it was a classic Camaro, I think, that he had up on blocks in his driveway. He's getting harassed for driving his mom's car. Right. He's getting harassed by the local speed jockeys and whatever, I think whatever ride they had, who were like, they were a take on, who was the radio announcer? Because they mock the voice. They do a voice like, he's a study in moppishness. You know what I mean? Like, it's those
Howard
two.
Cosell.
So, Cosell, yep.
Yeah.
Study in moppishness. No longer the victory-hungry stallion we've raced so many times before.
Yep.
He's like, they learned
So I
to
mean,
speak
that's like a
English
little
by
D
watching
plot.
Wild World of Sports and Howard Cosell.
Yes. So they get that whole bit, like that's like a D plot. Him skiing is the C plot. You know, the weirdo neighbor that the French exchange students boarding with. Their whole family dynamic is odd. No, the special effects in this movie get odd because they break into stop motion at one point when he's having like one of his suicidal hallucinations that he's going through. Everything's played for laughs, but he sees the K-12 at the end and he wins. The girl wins the day.
Yeah,
you know, it's a feel-good movie.
You have the 80s style music video in the middle.
Oh, montages, dude.
You need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage.
In montages.
We need a montage. Yep. Exactly. Dude, I'm glad you threw that one on the list, man. Dude, I love that. Because she helps him get his nerve back. You know what I mean? The French exchange student girlfriend. She's like, oh, no, you can ski. We can do the K-12. No problem. We do this. So then he does it. So when he throws down the challenge to the dude, they have to up the ante. So what happens? One of the bindings on his skis is broken.
So he does it
so
on
he's
one
got to
ski.
hit the mountain. Right. And his boy says that he's like, he's skiing on one ski. And it's hilarious.
Skiing on one ski.
I love that part,
And
dude.
the best part is that when she's up there giving him the training lessons on how to do K-12, this is what she says. You go that way really, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Dude, what do we call that? Set up and pay off. You know what I mean? It's a through line.
Oh,
that
so
it
if you
works.
haven't checked out Better Off Dead, it was released in 1985. Go give it a watch. It's definitely worth it during the holiday season.
All right, dude, I'm gonna put number 4 up here because this is probably my favorite of the bunch. It's not Christmas. It can't be a Christmas list without a Christmas story, hands down.
Y'all shoot Uriah! Y'all shoot Uriah!
I need to see that kid get his effing BB gun every year at least twice, or my year's ruined. You know, dude, I'm notorious in my family for hitting up the TNT does the Christmas Story marathon on TBS and TNT. My personal best is 7. Yep. My personal best is 7 views of that in that 24-hour period because I can't. It's too funny. I think it probably wouldn't hold up maybe for younger people because they don't get the world cell phones and internet and things like that. But some of the dry humor is so effing dry that you can't miss out on it. You know,
you have
the setup, guys. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Oh, you just have all the. It's just a classic. I mean, there's so many layers to this movie. It's just great. Go ahead. Go with what you were going to say.
I was just saying. I think it's just like it's a solid film. You know what I mean? It has a 3-act structure that we're always talking about that works. It's not just a slapdash together random comedy bits of things that are supposed to be funny. Like it all builds towards the goal of him getting the Red Ryder carbine action, lever action BB gun with the compass and the stock and the things to tell time. You know what I mean? Like he wants that gun. So we're always building to the various obstacles that a kid would have to go through. Where he's got the list he's got the Christmas list. He's trying to manipulate his mom into getting it. He's got to talk to Santa at the mall. And then Santa at the mall is like, nah, kid, you'll shoot your eye out. And then it's all Dark Night of the Soul because that shit's not going to happen, you know?
Down the slide.
Boot to the face. To the face. It's like a WWF event like in 1980 whenever that shit came out. The teacher's like, nah, dog, you can't have that shit.
Yeah, you're shooting.
Santa's like, nah.
With even like an F on his paper on why he wanted a Red Ryder beating gun.
Dude, straight F, an F right to it was awful. They got the awesome part with the bully, and the kid finally snaps over the BB gun and beats the crap out of the bully. Yeah. And just beats him bloody. His mom's got to come and rescue him and shit. Oh, and shit. That reminds me. Probably the funniest use of an F-bomb in a movie in history. right? You remember that part?
And I did not say fudge.
I said the queen mother of them all. Dude, you guys, we're going to blow the scene for you because it's a 40-year-old movie. They're out doing Christmas shopping or tree shopping, whatever they're doing. They get a flat tire. Dad gets out to change the flat because guys used to do that 40 years ago, right? Mom tells Ralphie, go outside and help your dad because also 40 years ago, your kid could get out of the car on a highway and go over to the side of the car. Nobody would call protective services.
Cars back then, so.
Dude, no, I thought wasn't in the deleted scene. Ralphie was just holding the tree on the roof because we didn't care about kids and cars back then, right? So he gets out to help Dad, and Dad's like, oh yeah, hold the hubcap, count the lug nuts, this and that. Dad actually comes around with the tire iron, bumps the hubcap out of poor Ralphie's hands, and the lion's like, and for a split second, I saw the lug nuts in the street light glow, and then they were gone. He's oh fudge, and Dad just like, what did you say? That's what I thought you said. And then Ralphie goes into the car and he's got this monologue about that's it. What's it going to be? Going to be beheaded, guillotine, gas chambered? What's it going to be? Dad gets in the car and he goes, do you know what your son just said? And then he leans over to Mom because this movie's set in the 30s and people just didn't cuss in front of kids back then in polite company. And he gives the whole, and then she goes, and then transition right into the soap in the mouth at home if I remember right.
Yep. And then they asked, where'd you learn that word? And then he just sold someone out and he called
Schwartz.
His parents.
Yep. And then you can hear that kid getting his ass kicked over the phone, which is even funnier.
Yep.
He's like, what did I do, Mom? What did I do? You just hear,
because
what?
That's how you teach
What? It was crazy.
Jerks.
No, then there's that. I love that part. Dude, solid Christmas movie. The kid, spoiler alert, the kid gets what he wants. He lives happily ever after. It ends on that weird note at the Chinese restaurant. Like, they didn't know how to wrap that shit up after he got the gift. Like, you remember they go out to Christmas dinner because of the turkey? Yeah, and I'm like, why did they get... So the turkey got ruined by the Bumpus's dogs. It shouldn't have just ended there with him and the gun. Like, why'd they go out to dinner? I didn't need to see that. That always kind of stuck out a little bit, even as a kid.
Because the Chinese restaurant's the only place that's open on Christmas because the Chinese don't celebrate Christmas. And then they're sitting there, they're like, wah, 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 wah.
I love when they bring out the roast duck, right? And it's still got the head on as it's prepared, right? And the dad's like, it looks like it's staring at us. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he pulls the cleaver off the apron and just chops the duck's head off, like right then and there at the table. And Mom gets all freaked out. But we can't move on without talking about the pivotal scene in this movie. It's not the bully beating. It's not the you'll get an F. It's not the F word. You know what I'm talking about, right? You stick your tongue onto the flagpole, it's gonna get stuck.
This is
The triple dog dare. Dude, I love that scene so much because it's exactly what 3rd and 4th grade is like.
Yep.
There's that escalating set of practices and procedures to how kids argue back and forth. That's all real. I was doing that before I ever saw this movie. You know what I mean? So that's just part of like how kids are. And I just heard my kids say double dare to somebody the other day. This is 50 years later almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these kind of things just stick around with kids. So they put their buddy up to licking the flagpole and then it gets stuck and they all leave him out there when the bell rings. They even said, like, come on, man, we gotta go. But the bell ring. Come on, don't leave me out here. The bell ring. And they don't leave him. They go inside. And when the teacher's like, hey, where's Flick? They're all just looking around. And one little girl's like pointing out the window. And the poor teacher's like, oh my God. And she runs out there and calls the fire department. That shit's too funny, man. That's laugh a second over there.
There's 2 other things in this movie that you're missing that are just great. The greatest Christmas gift of all time from his aunt. The bunny onesie.
Oh my God, dude. That was hilarious. Dude, the line there is, my aunt sent this over, who's been laboring under the delusion for 10 years that I was a girl. Too funny. Too funny.
And then the greatest gift, the achievement, the leg lamp. You've always been jealous of it.
Well, it's a major award, dude. I don't know if you knew that. It's a major award.
It's a major award.
It's fragile. Dude, that cracks me up, man. Dude, that's wild too, man. When you look at how that box got shipped to them. Today we get in a cardboard box wrapped in tape. You know, it's been dropped off. It's all beat up, whatever. Dude, they just sent that in a shipping crate that required like the pry bar and a hammer for Dad to pull the nails out in the living room.
It had
He steps in the
sawdust
box.
stuffing on the
Right.
inside.
And he's just like, "Dip, dip, dip." And you can see the mom. The mom, if you look closely, mom's out of the center of the frame just a little bit, looking all kinds of pissed off already.
Yep.
Even before the dirty leg lamp comes out. The dirty leg lamp, classic icon. Classic icon. Oh, dude, great movie. This whole list is so slamming good. So slamming good, dude. What do you got next, man?
I think to round this out, I think we need to throw a little comedy with a little horror. We're talking about the little gift from Little Chinatown. We're talking about Gremlins and Gizmo, the Christmas gift from Chinatown.
Oh, man. Oh, Gremlins. Dude, there's a few simple rules you have to understand about owning a Mogwai.
1, do not expose them to direct sunlight.
Hate it.
2, never get them wet.
Ever.
And 3, the most important of them all, never feed them after midnight.
Which was always the one that stuck out as weird to me as a kid. Because if you're not feeding them after midnight, are
Then
you ever feeding them?
Yeah, because
You feed them
like-
once the day they're born before midnight or something? I
or
don't
do
know.
you like? Is there a certain time frame, like when the sun comes
Yeah.
up, then the after midnight's no longer after midnight?
Resets or something? Yeah, I don't know. I bet there's some mysticism in there that probably explains that. Dude, tell me, I've seen Gremlins, but it's been a hot minute. I watched it a few times back in the day. It was never on my favorite list because I thought it, like most 80s things for kids, genuinely terrifying if you're the right age. There's enough scary shit in there when the real Gremlins show up that it can absolutely terrify you as a kid. I was afraid of my basement through like age 9.
So it
Because of
starts
Gremlins.
off with this guy's a inventor who tries to sell his wares. He goes into a mystical shop while in Chinatown and finds the perfect gift for his son, which is a magpie, which is he names Gizmo because he figured out all of his gizmos on the way back to home.
Yep.
And so you have this cute little like teddy bearish type thing. If you've seen a Furby, it looks like a Furby.
I was just
They made
gonna say
a
that.
Gizmo Furby eventually.
Yep.
And so he's going on, and he teaches him out of sunlight. One day, his son's in was it like a senior in high school, works at the bank.
Yep.
Small town type feel.
Yep. Anytown, USA. Totally. Anytown, USA.
And then he accidentally, while drawing, he knocks over his water that's with the paint, and it falls on Gizmo. And all of a sudden, you see these little balls jumping off his back. You're not finding out why you don't get them wet. Is that what makes them reproduce? And now you have all of these different, and they all look like Gizmo, but you could tell their facial expressions are
Slightly
a little bit
evil.
meaner.
Yep.
And then they set up by chewing the alarm clock, so they think that it's like an hour before, like it stopped an hour before. It's like, okay, so he gives them some chicken, and they're eating after midnight. And then like they turn into these big cocoon type things, and like Gizmo's like hiding during all this because he knows what's about.
He knows.
And this turns them into these green monsters called Gremlins. Now, the history of Gremlins is what they would call a mystical creature that would it was big during World War II or anything mechanical. Anything mechanical would fail. They say that the Gremlins got into it and messed.
Particularly fighter planes. Yep. Particularly planes.
And bombers. Yep, they're the big ones. They even had a great one. Oh, what was that movie? Amazing Stories. And the guy's watching like a gremlin on a plane while he's
tearing his wing apart. Yeah. Yep. That was a classic.
That was a great movie. If you ever get a chance to see that one, Amazing Stories, 1986, go watch it. It's a collection of stories.
Anthology. Yep. Exactly right. Yep. I got you, dude. Yep.
But
exactly
going
right.
back to Gremlins, let's hop back onto this one.
Let's do it.
So, and then they start wreaking havoc around this town, and so he starts to fight. Him and Gizmo and his girlfriend at the time go and try to save their small town from these little green monsters.
Yep.
That's the hands down what happened.
Dude, Gremlins was terrifying because of the practical effects. You're a big effects guy. You know I like my effects practical as well. Dude, anytime the Gremlins are mutating because of that bubbly, watery... Dude, that looks real, guys, because it's real. Somebody had to come up with the right chemical reaction that caused that substance to make that bubbling, steaming, hissing, gelatinous mess that happened. And one of my favorite effects in the entire thing, it's not as gross as that because the cocoon stuff is all nasty when that goes down.
Yeah.
Right? But when Stripe falls into the pool at the mall at the end and the entire pool starts bubbling, Dude, my 8-year-old self was like, nope, I'm out, gone. We're good here. Let me know. It works out. Dude, perfect entry level horror flick back then for kids. Dude, I don't know if kids could handle that today because the mean Gremlins legitimately look horrifying.
And then,
Like, they ain't no Five Nights at Freddy's cartoon shit with this.
yeah, and then they
It's
had
real.
the comic part was like when they were at the bar. And, like, you had
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah. They
all
get
the
their
different-
shenanigans
the different
on.
personalities of the Gremlins. But the one thing that's overlooked, and you were talking about like how scary it was, it has one of the darkest stories in it. And she
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't like Christmas.
Yep,
She
dude.
believes
That was,
her
dude.
father ran out on her on
Yep.
Christmas, and then all of a sudden they're smelling like this rain. They came and broke their chimney.
Oh, dude,
They
that's
found
right.
Her dad in the chimney, dressed as Santa. He got stuck
Yep.
and died in the chimney. I mean, it doesn't get much darker
Dude.
than that.
Dude, the only movie subplot that I could think of darker than that is the ending to Mist, where the Punisher ends up shooting everybody in the truck because they don't think they're surviving the end of the world situation there.
Yeah.
But that's like the ending of a movie. As some B story backplot to like the love interest in a movie, that's the darkest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the 80s for you guys. We weren't messing around back then. Shit was grim. When they needed to hurt you emotionally in a movie in the 80s, they just did it.
Yep.
They're like, 0 fucks to give. Time to make them cry. You know? Dude, quick sidebar on Gremlins 2. Did you ever see that one? I'm just curious, real quick.
I did. Gremlins and
What did you think of that overall?
I thought it had I thought it was more comedic. Like they added more comedy levels to it. It probably scaled back a little bit from how dark Gremlins actually was.
Agreed. I think they realized they had a hit on their hands, like in terms of merchandising for kids. So they definitely individualized the Gremlins more. They gave them all a gag. There was one that had bat wings, one that had like the spider legs.
Yeah.
They had the female one that had like the big lipstick lips on.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to sell toys. It was very commercial at that point, and not nearly as scary. Like at that point, I think everything looked kind of rubbery and plastic, and you're just kind of like, okay, they're goofing around. I don't think there was a body count in that at all. I think it was more slapstick. I don't think there were actually any kills involved. There were a couple of kills in the first movie.
Yep.
For sure, a couple. They did a couple of people in. Yeah. Dude, I gotta break the rules like we do. I gotta throw the bonus one on the list because I can't get out of here without talking about this. You brought up a Hanukkah movie up front. I'm gonna wrap us up with one.
Go ahead.
I'm wrapping us up with 8 Crazy Nights.
So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights.
Adam Sandler.
Crazy
Animated.
night.
Dude,
Adam
have you seen-
Sandler doing the best
have you
thing.
seen the movie?
Yes,
have
I
you
have.
seen 8 Crazy Nights?
Animated
I was just
movie.
making sure. Talk about it for a minute, if you can. If you've
Well,
seen it enough to
it's
know.
pretty much a redemption arc movie of a animated Adam Sandler and how he used to be a punk hockey. Apparently, he loves hockey because he did hockey. in a lot
Basketball.
of his
There's basketball in the
There's
movie.
basketball in that
Yep.
one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely the basketball
Which I
tournament.
know
Oh
he
yeah.
loves basketball because if you watch his body
Yep.
of work, he does a lot of.
Oh, it's basketball game and basketball thing and everything. It doesn't have football in it.
Yeah, football.
Like the Water Boy and the Longest Yard are the only ones that don't have basketball in it because they
Actually,
have
the
football.
Longest
Oh no,
Yard
he
does
plays
have
basketball. Yeah,
Yep.
he's right. He's on the
Against
court. That's
Michael
right.
Irvin.
He does that. Yeah. Never mind. That's right. He does have that. Take
Yep.
it back.
Yeah, he loves.
So
basketball.
8 crazy nights, dude. Give me what you like about 8 Crazy Nights. If it's up there. If you didn't like it, tell me you didn't like it. It's cool.
I only really watched it once. It didn't get the.
I gotcha.
I had to watch again type feel to it.
Yeah.
It had it was like his old basketball coach looked like Mr. Magoo in it.
Yeah, it was a ref. It was a ref for his
That's
league.
Right, he was a referee.
Yes. Because
And,
he was
like,
partnered with him later.
Yeah, and he tries to get a and he gets him
Yeah.
to be a redemption arc during Hanukkah. It's a true
Yep.
Hanukkah miracle.
Yeah, dude. I'll make the comparison to Gremlins. You want to talk about dark? The backstory here is Adam Sandler as a kid lost both his parents in a car crash on Hanukkah. Right, so his life kind of falls apart after that through foster care. He was the gifted kid. He was the star of the basketball team, but his life falls apart when his parents die. They leave it. The only thing he has left of them is like a Hanukkah card that he never opened. So he goes through all the comic shenanigans and all the crude Adam Sandler humor. It's all funny. The music is all funny. And then they get to the end and the redemption arc comes when he finally opens the Hanukkah card and he hears, like, you get the visual, like in the montage form of his parents, saying they're proud of him, they love him. And then of course he goes back to undo the damage that he did redemption arc style. But the music's too funny. Whitey and his sister, they're both I don't know if they're technically dwarfs or little people. He's got the hairy back. He looks like an absolute white fur covered baboon. When they're playing shirts and skins, the guys like to put that shit on. There's a lot of funny stuff in there, man. It's got the other redemption stuff with the love interest that was like his best friend when they were growing up. They became estranged as he went into foster care. He's a dick to her when they get back to town together, but then they get back together at the end. It's got everything on this list that we talk about in terms of the redemption stuff, the family reunion stuff. There's all that good stuff is in there. Dude, I'm gonna give you the mandate that you must go rewatch this movie by the end of the year. So maybe we can talk about it by the end of the year, because I think you'd enjoy it in retrospect if you haven't seen it in a long time. I think you'd get a lot out of it. It's hilarious. It's Adam Sandler at his best.
I've always said that Adam Sandler is a very underrated actor. If you ever watch some of his serious stuff, he knocks it out of the park. Was it Rain on Me with him and John Chittle? Is it Don Chittle?
Don Cheadle, yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. And just the character he plays, I mean, he plays the 9/11 survivor in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. And then also his other really serious one recently that was on Netflix was Hustle.
Yeah.
About,
heard good things.
NBA scout. Dude, it was a great movie. I mean, if you like basketball, you need to see that movie. And Adam Sandler is just completely perfect in it.
All right, King Z, I think that's going to wrap up our list. Guys, we gave you 5 plus a good bonus one. They all have maximum review scores from us. We've done them in no particular order. These movies will absolutely put a smile on your face for different various reasons throughout the entire month of December, throughout the entire holiday season, regardless of the faith that you participate in, or even if you're on the non-faith civil side of things, whatever we call it now. You'll enjoy these. They're funny. Go check them out, guys. Dude, why don't you say goodbye to everybody and walk us out of here, dude? You opened, you closed. Get it done.
All right. Well, thank you for spending your time with us as we talked about some Christmas, non-Christmas movies that you might enjoy during the holiday season, and we did a little more festive here at the Winter Wolf's Den. If you liked what we were putting out, go ahead and give that thumbs up for this video. That helps us in the algorithm. If you want to hear more of what we're doing, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you never miss whatever we're dropping out. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers in the next 2 weeks. We are 21 away as of the recording of this video, so help us out. 21 more people, come join the den. With that said, and to say goodnight, the camera goes back.